Peace, y'all. This is G1.
This is Rod Stars.
Together, we Rebel Diaz.
And we coming at you live from the GTP headquarters in Hunts Point, New York.
And this is And You Don't Stop. Today, we continue the conversation on the issues faced by Haitian immigrants in the Dominican Republic. Rod Stars hits the streets of Washington Heights in New York to talk to the people about apartheid in the Dominican Republic. And we have more words and more music with Dirty DeLorean on Rooftop Live.
What's happening in the DR is crazy. We already heard a little bit about it last week. This week, Claudia furthers the conversation with an amazing El Reporte. She has a sit-down with Mark Torres, the chairperson of the People Power movement. Let's check it out.
These folks who praise Europe see Europe as the great messiah for our part of the island, for the Dominican Republic at that point. And those people who say, no, we're a black people, we need freedom, yes, we need to do commerce, yes, we need to progress, but we need social justice. And of course, the tendency that's pro-Europe racist has been supported by the US. When the US invades, they put this puppet into power, Trujillo, and so they taught Trujillo more than anything to hate himself, and to hate black people, to hate African people. It's pretty famous now how he used to powder his face to look whiter. He recruited immigrants from the Canary Islands, Lebanon and Turkey and Syria, who compared to the regular Dominican population were much lighter. With the help of the US, with the support of the US, with the funding of the US, with the military force of the US, starts to institutionalize racism on this island. And so the forces of white supremacy gained the upper hand. I mean, he was killed, he was assassinated with the help of the CIA because eventually he becomes a problem for them, and that's what the US does, right? It props up these dictators, and then when they are no longer obedient, it takes them out. You got the case of Noriega, you got the case of Saddam Hussein, and Trujillo is in that same line. Because of the devastation that nature and the US has brought on Haiti, Haitian immigrants in the Dominican Republic. And so what is the response of the oligarchs, of these people who are the descendants of Trujillo in terms of economic and political power in the Dominican Republic, is that we have to stir up this anti-Haitian boogeyman. The people in the Dominican Republic are suffering tremendously economically, politically, and this tactic is an old tactic that has worked for racists and imperialists for a long time, which is divide and conquer. If I can convince you that your problem is not how I'm running the country or how I'm hoarding the resources of the country, but that this person next to you, who lives next to you, who is suffering like you is your enemy, then that takes me off as a target and that person becomes a target. And so through the media, through education, in the Dominican Republic, Haitians are directed to be the target. There's this myth that there are separate branches of government and that they balance each other out and that justice is blind, and that's complete and total nonsense. Whether it's the judiciary or the legislature or the executive branch, they all respond to the ruling class. Whoever's in charge of that society is gonna dominate whatever. You could set up 20 branches and they're gonna dominate it. Their philosophy, their interests will dominate that. You wanna deport people, so what you do is you have the courts do it, so it has the air of legitimacy. The Dominican government is playing games. They're playing the power games, politics games, games of racism. In reality, what needs to happen is that the court decision and then the actions of the Dominican government need to be vacated. They need to be reversed. That's the only way to get justice.
Peace, y'all, Rod Stars. We're coming at you once again from Washington Heights, the Dominican community here in New York City. We're gonna talk to the community once again about the word on the streets, hashtag ApartheidRD, or ApartheidRD if you want to talk in Spanish. So today we're gonna talk to the people about this controversial ruling, a constitutional ruling that would denationalize Dominicans of Haitian descent. Let's talk to the community and see what they feel about this.
I think it's extremely unfair. I mean, if you consider yourself to be like part of both lands, like if you're Dominican and you're Haitian, or you want to like cross the borders, I think you should be allowed to apply for citizenship in both ways. So I think the ruling is unfair.
Yeah, the right thing is that everybody who born in Dominican Republic, that's supposed to be Dominican. That's the right.
How you gonna tell somebody they can't be Dominican or they can't be Haitian? Like, that's mean. You can't make somebody who they are. That's like steer somebody in the wrong direction for no reason. Make them hate somebody. Like, why do that?
I don't know, that's kind of messed up, man, I think. So they should just let people rock once again. I'm just a person that if you're doing your own thing, that's cool. I'll stay out of the way. I feel like DR should be on that. Unfortunately, they don't see it the same way, so hopefully they change their minds, you know? It's unfortunate, you feel me?
It's kind of messed up because it's like you were born there, so you should have a choice.
I think that's kind of messed up. I mean, especially if they've been in DR for such a long time, you know? I mean, just because they're Haitian, I don't think that's right.
Wow, eso es algo malo. Yo lo encuentro mal. Si le van a quitar la nacionalidad a personas que ya están naciendo dentro del país, porque son ciudadanos dominicanos, aunque sean descendientes de haitianos.
Personally, I just don't agree with it. As a Dominican, I just plain don't agree with it. For me, yeah, that's it. I just don't agree with it. That's it, you know?
Hay que darle su oportunidad porque ese es su país. Si ellos nacen allá, tienen que darle su oportunidad de su arte nacimiento.
I don't think it's fair.
Okay, what makes you think that it's not fair?
Because it's weird. Because you're basically separating the dark skinned and light skinned.
Los haitianos que nacieron allá son dominicanos.
I know that both of you recently were part of a project where you worked with a group of young people, 7-year-olds. Coy, if you could tell me a little bit about what that project was about.
Those workshops has been amazing. They're 7-year-old kids. In the PS49, they put together a special group with kids with different abilities. So it was a project that they write poems, so then we can all together put it in a songs. They never seen like real instruments live. They never have the access here to actually record and have instruments and make songs. But it was amazing for me because you can see in the faces when they at the end of the project they listen to the songs, and you can see that they had a strong feeling, and a motivation to keep forward, like keeping doing songs and artistic stuff. Like it was great.
Lus, if you could share a little bit about being a product of different organizations. Not only you member of the Art Act BX, but also you were a member of other organizations coming up as a youth, and how important it is to have these type of spaces and organizations to be able to cultivate culture and arts for young people here in the South Bronx.
All I knew was the hood, and I didn't know there was more outside. So I think it opens you up, and it gives you like a new frame, a new lens that you can see the world through. And especially in the Art Act, I feel like in the Art Act BX especially, like I got to really develop my writing and my singing skills and performing at Boogie Mics. I feel like that was super important in my career, so that I can get used to a crowd and know exactly what moves you want to do on stage. So like places like that are super important, and I'm glad, because I feel like if the Art Act BX wasn't around, there wouldn't be a place to perform in the Bronx. That's just real talk. There is no place in the Bronx where people could go and perform for $7 for 2 songs. That's unheard of. So I think the Art Act BX movement is really strong, and I think a lot of youth have came in and out of there, and knowing that they learned a lot from being there.
Come on. I got my devilish ways and I only get paid in cash. You say you wanna run away, never thought that I would treat you so bad. I see them tears running down your eyes. I think it'd be good